Hello speakers, today I am back again with another video. Just before I start the video, make sure that you subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. But let's get right into it. So today's video I'm going to be talking about, are all men the same? All men are not the same. I know a lot of women, a lot of us, I'm one of them, okay? I'm not gonna front. I've had my bad shares of relationship. I've had guys treat me bad. In today's world, especially with the media and just everything, people's minds seem to be scattered and they do things that they shouldn't do, and it's just pretty screwed up, you know, with the stories that we've heard. Maybe our friends have told her how a guy have treated them, family members and things like that. There is no doubt that there are not so good of men out there. There are pretty bad men out there. But does that mean that it's the end of the world? No. Does that mean that every man out there is the same because we had those bad experiences, or you know, some of the men that we've heard of or some of the men that we've been with have treated us bad? No, that does not mean it's the end of the world. That does not mean that all men are the same. Trust me, this is coming from somebody who have been through crap with guys. I have not been treated the best. I'm gonna be honest. There's men who have just treated me bad and just used the crap out of me. Okay, so I'm not just coming here saying that all men are not the same because I just had great experiences. No, this is also coming from somebody who have had some really pretty bad life experiences with men. Okay, but however, I do believe that there are good men out there and all men are not the same. Okay, for me, what I always tell people, it all depends on how a man is raised. I truly stand by that. I'm never going to change my thoughts on that. I really, truly, and honestly believe a man is the man that he is, determined on the type of parents that he had and how he was raised. Okay, if your parents raised you well, you're going to be a good man, right? Well, at least you're going to have morals and values depending on how they raised you. It's only logic. It only makes sense. So no, not all men are the same. It all depends on how they were raised. Of course, people can argue that fact. They can say, you know, well, people grow up and they decide to go their own ways and all that. But at the end of the day, me being an adult and a person, period, I still, although I may go my own way in life, I will still also follow some of the things that my parents taught me, you know, especially the main points, the main important things, such as, you know, how to treat people and, you know, believing in God and following God and trusting God and doing those things. You will notice that a lot of the men whose family are very Christ orientated, who put God first, those guys, I'm sorry to say, I'm not trying to be judgmental on people who do not believe, but normally those guys are pretty good guys. You know, they go to church, they pray, and they do things like that in that type of manner. So for me, it all depends on how a man is raised. That is what determines who a man is going to be when he gets older. This is why the Bible says train your child, you know, so that when they grow up they can continue with those habits. I'm not saying it in the right way, but that's why the Bible says that train your kids so that when they grow up they will not depart from the things that you teach them. They will continue to have those valuable things that you train them to have. They will have those morals and values and things like that. They will carry those for the rest of their lives. As parents, that is really important. I think a lot of people miss that. You're one of those people who are saying all men are the same. One, you need to think, are you saying that you're no longer going to be with men then? Is this what you're saying? You have to be careful when you say the words that you say. Sometimes I think we're just mad how we've been treated in the past, or maybe even presently, that we just put everybody in the same category. We as women, we wouldn't want to be categorized the same, so we shouldn't do the same with all men, because honestly, at the end of the day, all men really aren't the same. So back to what I was saying. If you truly and honestly believe in your heart that all men are the same, are you saying that you're no longer going to be in a relationship with a man again? Because I can guarantee you, you know, if you're still interested in men and things like that, you're still going to be dating them. So you have to be careful, especially if it's somebody that you're talking to, that you're trying to have a relationship with, and you're saying, oh, all men are the same to this person. You're trying to build a relationship with them. You know, you guys are in a relationship or whatever the case may be. Don't say that to them, because if you're saying that all men are the same based off of your horrible experiences with guys, what are you telling that man that you're with, or that guy that you're talking to? You're basically telling them that it doesn't matter how you were treated in the past, although you were treated so horribly, it is okay because all men are the same. Okay, if you're saying all men are the same, are you saying that it's okay for you to be treated the way that you're previously treated. Because most of the time, people who say all men are the same are usually the ones who have been in really, really bad situations, and they just feel like all guys are the same. I have a little story to tell you guys. I'm gonna try to keep it short. I'm not gonna go too long. But I know a couple who, you know, before being sexually active and all of that, they actually waited and they actually did things the right way. They waited for, you know, months, and then within that month they, you know, got married, and their families are very Christ oriented. Their moms, dad, both families see eye to eye. So in cases too, having the same kind of faith and, you know, morals and values and stuff with the person that you decide to be with plays a really key part in your relationship. But I will talk more about that in my video where I talk about the type of men that you should try to choose depending on your criteria and what you're actually looking for. My brother is a really good example, and I'm so proud of him for the type of man that he's become. He's a really great guy, and I'm not just saying that because he's my brother. If my brother was not a great guy, I wouldn't be mentioning him. And that's just me being honest. My brother's a really great guy, you know. He treats his family well, he means well. He does everything that a man should do for his family and more. So I'm very proud of my brother. I just had to say that he's a really great guy. So that's just proof out there that men, not all men are the same. I'm gonna read you guys a little quote. I think I'm gonna do 3. I'm gonna pick 3 that I want to read to you guys. I feel like this is something that we as women, we all need to hear. We as people in general, we all need to hear. So I'm gonna read you guys 3. In the end, it's still best to wait for the one we want rather than settle for what's available. It's still best to wait for the one you love rather than to settle for the ones who are around. It's still best to wait for the right person because life's too short to waste it on the wrong one. We come to love not by finding a perfect person, but by learning to see an imperfect person perfectly. And this is something that I truly stand by, go by. I'm a believer. I truly understand that all men are not perfect. I'm not perfect, so I can't expect that all men to be perfect or men to be perfect, period. That is something that I completely understand. So, and I think, you know, we as women, that's something that we need to, just people, period. It's not even just women. That is something that we all need to come to realize, that everybody is not perfect. Everybody's going to have their flaws, but is loving that person, flaws and all, loving that person for who they are. Obviously, don't love a person who's going to treat you bad, but, you know, love them for the things that they're not really perfect at, and they're, you know, just love them for who they are. Here is one that I actually really like, and this is going to be the last one, okay? Find a guy who calls you beautiful instead of hot, who calls you back when you hang up on him, who will lie under the stars and listen to your heartbeat, or will stay awake just to watch you sleep. Wait for the boy who kisses your forehead. I will say man, I normally wouldn't say boy. Forehead. Who wants to show you off to the world when you are in sweats, who holds your hand in front of his friends, who thinks you are just as pretty without makeup on. One who is constantly reminding you of how much he cares about how lucky he is to have you. The one who turns to you, the one who turns to his friends and says, that's her. Okay? Those are just 3 quotes that I just wanted to read off to you guys. All men are not the same. We just need to choose the men that we decide to be with wisely. We just need to choose wisely. We need to look for red signs, and we need to be careful. We need to be careful with the type of men that we just allow in our lives, in our hearts, because it's a big deal. It's a big deal.